Hey, what's up, guys? This is James. I'm CEO of Bright Idea Marketing, and I just got back from a little run. I go probably, I don't know, 2 miles or so, walking slash running, depending on how I feel. So a little sweaty, but I just wanted to talk about something I was thinking about, and that is how long it takes for you to succeed in business. Now, for a long time, I had a plan that within the first year I'll make it. I had that $1 million business plan set up, and then the year rolled around and I was still just starting. So I get to the beginning of year two and I think, okay, this year is really where I'm going to make my break. I'm really going to kill it. Things will be figured out by then. And year two finishes. And I can tell, I've made some progress, but nowhere near that $1 million mark. So, 8 years later, for me at least, I finally have hit a point where I have a good system, I have sustainability, there's a lot of things have been figured out just in business. And when you're just starting a business, there is so much to know. In a way, you almost have to become a jack of all trades. There's some arguments as to whether you should just hire somebody or partner with somebody in the beginning, but that creates a lot of issues. And really, you as a business owner should have a handle on every part of your business to know how to operate it. Anyway, I was looking at other entrepreneurs and other business owners who had started their business and they were very successful, at least in my eyes. So I wanted to list a few people. This is going up top of head, just recalling back to the people that I've thought about. And the first one is Gary Vaynerchuk. Now, for the first, up until he was, I think, 32 years old, from like 15, we'll say, he was in his teens, 15 to 32, he was working in his dad's business. And that business obviously grew very fast. I don't know if you guys know his story, but he basically didn't have his own company until 32 years old when he started a media company. I think today they have 600, 700 employees, so very large agency. But for him, it took, 15 years of being inside of another business that he didn't actually own for him to learn the process and learn how business was run. And then he's 42 this year, I believe. So from 32 to 42, it took him that 10 years to get to where he is now. So, he's got 35 or 25 years of business experience. And people just see the point where the end result, if you will, quote unquote, of success. Another example is Grant Cardone. He's a pretty popular sales guy. He started out in car sales, but he didn't start out running his business until he was 31. And before that, he was broke. He didn't have much money. He didn't really have a business. And in fact, it wasn't until he was 50, which was about 10 years ago, that he actually finally had a business more than 2 employees. So even he wasn't that big until his 50s. Frank Kern, which is a very popular copywriter, he does marketing. Obviously, this is my space, so I'm very familiar with him, but he started doing ads in 1999, and it wasn't until 2006 or so, when he was 31, 32, that he actually made things work. So that was 7 years for him to start generating something of significance. And there's tons of examples. You can do a biography search of all these people, and you'll see that it takes a long time because there's just so much to know. So anyway, just wanted to put that out there, that things take time, and if you haven't been in business for at least 10 years, and you're complaining about things not working, or you can't seem to figure things out, I don't want to hear it. I just don't want to hear it. You haven't put enough time in, and you're expecting to become this Evan Spiegel, which started Snapchat, who it took. I think he was 19 years old, and he started Snapchat, and within a couple years, it was a $1 billion company. That is 0.00001% chance that will happen. There's so few companies out there that do it like that. And get this, he probably didn't learn the lessons that most of us would learn. So if he were to go into another business today, he may not have that skill set, that proper skill set to build another company. It might fail. So there is just literally 10 years worth of business knowledge that you have to integrate. And there's some people, they get lucky. They fall into the right industry, they fall into the right business, and somebody was there to teach them, and they made it work. But I've seen this time and time again. Whenever they try to go into a new business or industry, they fail because they skipped 5 years of experience. Had they gone through the struggle, through the pain, and had to become a better person. So don't be mad when people just happen upon an industry and it works for them for some reason. They don't actually have a skill set, and if things change, they may not be able to adapt. So keep that in mind. Just know that so many other people, on average, I heard somebody say this, I don't know if it's true, on average it takes 10 to 15 years to have a successful business, which would be $1 million or more in revenue by some people's standards. So just keep that in mind. Don't worry about it until you're 10 or 15 years in. Now, if you're 10 or 15 years in, you haven't figured it out, then you got a problem, probably a marketing problem, but that's a separate discussion. So hope that was useful. Hope that was encouraging. I know I was disappointed for a long time because it was 8 years of just struggling. So I understand, I get it. But I hope that was motivational to you. Get out there and build your business. Hope it does well.